Joining me now from Southern California, Mayor of San Juan Capistrano, California, certified financial planner and Republican congressional candidate for California's 49th district, Brian Maryott. Brian, number one, are you shocked at all by the polling numbers seeing Bernie Sanders just literally head and shoulders above the rest of the Democrat pack for president?
Well, quickly, Graham, good evening, and also to your viewers. No, it doesn't really surprise me. I mean, he's leading the pack as a plurality, and it's still a bit of a name recognition thing. However, I will tell you from door knocking a lot throughout the district and talking to people, when we talk to independents and Democrats, there is a certain percentage of folks that seem to favor some move towards something more socialistic. And I think they're failing to acknowledge and recognize that we are inarguably the world's greatest success story in human history. And we did that by tapping into the best of human spirit and entrepreneurialism. And so it is a concern, but Bernie is hard left. He endorsed my opponent, Mike Levin, campaigned for him a cycle ago. And we do know that there are folks out there who want to run the country that way.
You mentioned door knocking. How does, I don't know, you consider yourself a conservative Republican?
I do.
How does a conservative Republican win behind enemy lines and enemy territory, if you will, in California? It's not an easy task.
Well, the 49th is still about a third and a third and a third. Slight Republican registration advantage versus Democrat registration. But I think the district is full of people who are trying to raise their families, get their kids off to school without being overwhelmed by debt, want great career and job opportunities for them someday. It's full of men and women that have served our country and want to see the country that they fought to protect and the freedoms that they fought to protect stay the course. So it's a message that resonates when we get the time to talk to folks and clarify on the issues. There's a lot of misunderstanding about what the hard left, the Progressive Caucus, Mike Levin, and Bernie Sanders have in mind for our country.
Right.
They're calling it Medicare for all, Graham, as a perfect example. It's not Medicare, it's government-run health care for all with zero private insurance as one very personal example.
Total takeover of health care. That's
correct.
what Bernie Sanders wants because he wants total control. That's the reason behind the takeover of health care. The district you're running in, as you mentioned, the 49th district is almost a split personality district, if you will. It encompasses parts of Orange County and San Diego County. It includes Camp Pendleton, by the way, goes all the way down to La Jolla in San Diego County. Median income, $88,000. This is a targeted race by the Republican Party, and I believe it's also targeted by the Democrat Party. So this one is really a battleground district. It's Republican +1. Last I checked, Brian, you correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
And you mentioned this Mike Levin character. His Liberty score is F0%. So he's leading the 2018 class in that regard. He's right up there with AOC and the rest of them. And to boot, he voted to impeach the 45th president of the United States. Is that what people in the 45th, even though it's in California, is that what they want, to impeach the strong economy?
No, it's not, Graham. And in the 49th, Mike actually ran on impeachment and called for it very publicly prior to the Ukraine call and before that whole effort. He voted for the Naylor hearings. It's probably the only place he parted company with Nancy Pelosi on that vote. No, I think our district, again, wants to stay the course with the kind of economic freedoms that have built this great country and built these beautiful communities, and again, so many of these terrific men and women have fought for to preserve. I don't believe they want a Green New Deal that turns our entire economic system on its head in the name of environmentalism, including public bank ownership, community ownership of business interest, and cutting the military spending in half. And that's what the Green New Deal, filed with the House of Representatives, with my opponent Mike Levin as a proud sponsor, desires to do.
Well, the Green New Deal is more communist pablum. It's redistribution of wealth, only they're trying to do it on a global level. They're trying to take our money in the United States and give it to third world countries through the so-called Green New Deal. You are a certified financial planner.
Correct.
It seems as though Washington, D.C., doesn't seem, there is no financial plan for Washington, D.C., except trillion-dollar deficits and a $23 trillion national debt that's going to explode, probably in the neighborhood of $30 trillion, if we don't stop this bleeding. How do you bring fiscal sanity back to Washington, D.C.?
And you know what? The biggest part of it, Graham, is the people who we send there. running the affairs of our country and the mandates of our country is really like running a business. And we have to elect people who have life experience, real work experience, business experience, to go in and make difficult decisions, but helpful decisions, because we are piling this debt on our children and future generations. We're at a dangerously high place with our cumulative debt as a country. We haven't been in this territory since pretty close to post-World War II. And now we're adding as much as $1 trillion in new debt every year with that ongoing deficit. We have to every year start from scrap and say, where are we spending effectively and where should we be applying dollars, instead of just letting these programs and agencies grow and build empires with no real effectiveness. So I've had my career, I've earned my experience, and now I want to bring that to DC. And I'm willing to take part in hard conversations and be very bold about it. I don't need to go to DC and have a 30-year career there. Obviously, I'd like to go and serve some number of terms and be effective for the people of the 49th. But I'm willing to talk about the issue, put all our cards on the table, and collaborate and compromise and get something done that begins to get the growth of the cumulative deficit down over time. And we'll need continued economic growth to do that as well.
Private sector perspectives helps drain the swamp, by the way. It's MarriottForCongress.com. Maryott, like Mary, and then O-T-T-F-O-R.
Correct. Pronounced like the hotel, but spelled a bit different.
MarriottForCongress.com if folks would like more information on your effort to flip back a seat that has been flipped to the Democrats. Brian, thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Good night.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.